Hello, ACL Nation. Welcome in to Baggin and Braggin. This is a show where Meesh and I are going to talk about what's going on in the cornhole world, getting you ready for the 2023 season. We're going to be bragging about what's going on in our lives. We're going to have interviews with people that are relevant about what's going on, and we're also going to have a lot of fun along the way. Michelle, welcome. How you doing?
Yes, let's go. This has been in the works for a minute.
I'm excited. This is the official version of the Wally and Me show.
Yeah,
Still had to get that in
we
there.
teased it and we teased it and we teased it and it's here. You're
I'm
welcome.
excited. So yeah, first thing
Wally,
that we're going to be bragging about is we got our show.
I was like, yeah, I don't know about you, but I mean, daily messages about the Wally and Me show. I mean, I can't keep the people away. That's how much they wanted this show. I'm just kidding. I got no
It's
messages.
so weird. Everyone's like in high demand over Meesh and K9 now. You know, they want us to do ACL live. They want us to do around the ACL. I mean, we're celebrities.
I think that maybe, or it's just because we're good friends and they sense the vibe.
I like the vibe.
Yeah, it works.
It does work. I'm excited. Looking forward to, I guess, a weekly show. We're going to be bringing you guys highlight clips from the previous Opens. We got some catching up to do, so we're going to start off with the Rock Hill Open in South Carolina. That's when I was in Cancun, so I was not on the mic for that one, but Mike, Jake, and Allison all did a great job holding that one down. And we're going to catch up. We got 5 Opens underway, getting ready to head into Myrtle Beach. I'm looking forward to the team's draft. And I think that presentation that we're going to put on is going to be amazing. Meesh going to be heading the microphone in between Jeff and Bernie, trying to keep them wrangled.
It should be fun. It should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Trey and I are going to be pushing some buttons, but let's
in
get
the
to bragging.
You guys are in the truck.
Yeah, we're in the truck behind the curtain.
But it is time to be bragging. So, what is this segment about, Wally?
This is where we're talking about what's happening in the cornhole world. You know, what we're bragging about. For me, as you can see in the background, I'm bragging about my sponsors. I'm happy that we had enough people believe in me to hop on board to keep me going this entire season. So we got a new microphone, got some new headphones, got a new camera. I'm looking pretty fleegable, if I must say so myself. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Other thing I'm definitely happy about is that Facebook followers and subscribers, those are underway. I can't say enough about the love and support that I received throughout this last year. I don't know about you, Meesh, but my following has grown immensely since ACL brought me on board, and I think it's all worked out for the best.
Yeah, the people love themselves some Wally.
I don't know why.
And I don't know why you take offense to this, but you put me to sleep, but in the best way possible. Okay. I'm just like all cozy on the couch. I got ACL Cornhole TV on, watching cornhole. I'm listening to Wally, and I just gotta drift off for a little bit. Like, come back.
There's we can't do it during this show. We got business to attend to.
No reason to take offense.
Okay, so I guess that means that you're comfortable with me. You're relaxed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
soothing,
my voice
relaxing
is at least
voice.
Soothing.
I don't mute you, okay?
Yeah.
I could be muting you.
That's a good point.
So
yeah, I think we crossed over 10,000 followers recently. So heading into the new year, I'm actually going to do a huge giveaway. So
yay.
Yeah, we're going to be giving away at least one item from all the sponsors behind me, as well as some extra K9 unit stuff. Got some custom K9 golf balls to give away.
Whoa.
K9 fatheads, jerseys, hoodies, lots of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to do it in a fun way, too. You ever watch marble races?
No.
You never watched marble races? It's worth a Google.
What that is.
It's worth a Google. Okay. So basically, there's these people that just carve these like paths in the sand, dirt, or whatever, and they release probably 20 to 50 marbles. And for some reason, you follow a certain marble and you start rooting on that marble. You're like, come on, red marble. Let's go red marble. And they commentate it. And by the time it gets to the end of the race, you're like, man, that's not the one I wanted.
They commentate it?
It's like, so
it's
fun.
A marble.
The marble races, I'm telling you, it's the new wave of the future.
This cannot be a thing.
It's going to take over cornhole.
People think it's crazy that there's cornhole, professional cornhole commentators, et cetera, et cetera. Hello, we've got marble races.
Yeah. It's actually interesting whenever I talk about what I do in the Uber rides. Everyone's like,
yeah, exactly.
So what brings you into town? I commentate cornhole. What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What is that?
Yeah, I went on the radio last year. I listened to this syndicated radio show. It's like a morning show called John Jay and Rich. And I went on the show last year because I asked them, you should ask people what they're doing for New Year's. Because, like, people do boring stuff, people do crazy stuff, people do traditional stuff. And I said, I'm going to Myrtle Beach to hang out with ACL Cornhole Pros, the commissioner of the ACL, and I'm commentating on games, and like that's my New Year's. And so they brought me on the radio to talk about it, and all of them were like, "I'm sorry, what? There's a commissioner, there's a professional cornhole league, and there's pros. Like what?" And
Yeah, I
so
always bring it back in and be like, "Yeah, we're closing in on $5 million in payouts," you know?
yeah,
And I was like, "Oh,
exactly. How
that's
about
big
that?
money."
That's a
That's
it's like a little bit legit,
yeah, you're in your
but yeah,
backyard playing for beers and Smirnoff Ices. We're out here in the big leagues, folks.
Smirnoff Ice. That's a pull.
Yeah.
That brings you back to the high school days.
Zimas. Zimas
Yeah,
with,
I
grenadine.
don't think they had Zimas. When did Zimas disappear? Because I think it's before me.
Shortly after they arrived. They weren't
Fair
around for
enough.
much time, that's for sure.
They didn't hang out too long.
Yeah, the Busch
Oh my
lattes took over.
goodness. Right?
So another thing that I'm bragging about,
Okay,
I gotta
let's hear it.
say, Trey Ryder sent me that wonderful email this morning. I got approved to go on pro jerseys. So I think I
Oh,
have,
like
yeah, I'll be,
K9, you
yeah,
mean?
the K9 logo will be on at
Oh,
least three, I think, three pro jerseys, but um, not really allowed to sponsor players this year because we're going to be associated with DraftKings and
right.
talking about sports betting, and it's going to be kind of interesting. I'm not going to show any more bias, which I'm not going to lie, I was pretty biased last year towards my sponsor players.
Yeah, you were.
I mean,
100%.
but it paid off. I mean, Ryan Wiedenfeld made me look really good,
He
so
did.
so
That
I'm
he
proud
that
of
he
that man.
did.
But yeah, so some players reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, you need to get your logo approved to be on the jerseys." And I was like, "Well, I'm not really allowed to sponsor anybody this year." And they said, "Well, I mean, if you're allowed to put your logo on there, I'll do it for you." I'm like, "Okay." So
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
so I'll just throw the logo out there. If anybody out there wants their logo on the pro jersey, hit me up. I'll send you the files. Or I guess technically they already have the
It's
file. You just
there.
got to
It's a
hit on the
drop
drop down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
So
pick it and be like, "Look, I'm throwing Wally in my jersey."
yeah, so yeah, feel free to put that on there. It'd be kind of cool. I wasn't planning on it, so maybe we can do like a bonus for a podium or something. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to figure out the financial situation too. If I have all the pros, throw it on there.
Yeah,
K9
you
might go
be
bye bye.
careful. If you just say anybody throw my logo, they're like, "I podiumed. Where's my
Right,
money?"
right. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that. So we'll have to game plan a little bit. It's all new, but yeah, Carson Getty reached out to me and he's wanting that second year logo on there. He threw it on there last year as well.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that season. Um, but I got to say, man, Carson, he's turned a new leaf this year. I think having a steady partner for him,
Mhm.
he's gonna be really really good. I'm looking forward to
He's good.
seeing what everybody who rocks the K9 this year can do.
Yeah, and he has been making it, I've noticed, deeper in the brackets when I've been doing my write-ups on the blogs.
Hmm.
I'm always looking and following runs of people, and he's been one of the ones that I'm like, "Oh, wait, and then that, and then that. Okay, he made it kind of far." So those people are standing out to me more since I'm doing those write-ups. It's pretty interesting also to see, like, for example, Mark Richards losing the first game and then go just run through that elimination bracket. I mean, no wonder he won his bracket. I mean, he worked his butt off, and then he was hot, right? I think
Yeah,
he played like, I want to say 9 games or something in a row.
yeah. I didn't check the round count, but he was definitely probably at the top of the list.
Had to be.
I mean, and I haven't. I'm gonna actually go through my rankings today. But today or tomorrow morning, we're gonna have what is it, 356 pros? How many are there? 256,
256.
and then the PDC.
Oh, and the PDC. I don't know the number with the combined off
Yeah.
the top of
So
my
either
head.
way, over 300 players. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna rank them one through whatever. And if you're
Oh my
last
god,
on the
once you
list,
start to get through the
yeah,
hundreds, I mean, it's all just like, I don't
it
know.
there's gonna be a whole bunch of this is my guy, and then a whole bunch of who the hell is this?
Yeah.
So don't take offense if you're low on the list. I just don't know you yet. So make a
Yeah,
scene.
for sure.
But I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna release the predictions that I have as far as what the teams are gonna look like. So I'm gonna post once a day and start growing. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that. We're ready to roll.
Dude,
There's
I did
plenty of
some
content.
early predictions on my first and second round draft picks, like I want to say 3 weeks ago. And now that I went off of like obviously stat lists, things like that. Like I looked at last season, for example, Kobe Costanza. It's obviously a name that we all know. Not surprising to see him go early in the draft, but I couldn't decide where. And then when I was looking at where he was finishing, like last season, and not just not just like in the college stuff, but like in his opens and things like that, local stuff. I ended up putting him round one just because it was like he was so dominant in so many ways. But then this season he's just so quiet. So it's like I don't even know if I can put him in the first because there's people who are louder, who you're seeing.
I'm looking forward to seeing what him and Tyler can do. I
Yeah,
love Tyler going back to the BG squad, and
same.
I mean, I don't think I've seen Kobe throw anything else other than that.
Yeah,
So
that's his jam right
yeah,
there.
looking forward to it. Those are my guys for sure. Final
But yeah,
thing
just
I'm interested in
looking for
bragging
him
on
though.
before I get to yours is our picks, Michelle. We are killing it.
Oops,
We are
don't even.
killing it. I mean, that's
That
something to be
needs
bragging about. I mean, for
that
sure.
needs to be bragged about. Let's yes, let's go.
Yeah. So I
Well,
don't make my picks until we
according
get
to
to the
Trey, it doesn't
bracket.
count though. It doesn't count until the nationals.
I make my picks whenever I see the brackets, and I think Virginia Beach had 848 players total.
Yeah, it was a
I
big
think
one.
I think I'm right on that number. And for me to get 3 out of the 8 brackets, I was pretty happy with that. And it
Yeah,
wasn't like I was taking Mark
it wasn't the
Richards or Alex
obvious.
Rowe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I took Jeremy Fraser was a huge one, Duncan Clemmer.
yeah,
I was happy with my picks.
yeah. No, I mean,
And then
definitely,
you're hitting on the head.
definitely something to brag about. I know that, like, so I've gotten the last four out of five that I've done for the opens,
Mhm.
Um, but one of them is like a because I said that Eric Davis, I forget who he was playing with, would win, and they
Yeah.
did, but it was tier two. So
It was
it's
Jake
like,
Krasinski, wasn't it?
was it Trzynski?
I
I
think
can't
it was
remember.
Krasinski and Eric Davis. They teamed, but they were both looking for partners. It was kind of interesting because on my Facebook timeline, it says Jake Krasinski, anyone looking for a partner? And right underneath the Eric Davis, looking for a partner. I was like,
Like, ah.
I want to
There
take a
you go.
screenshot and send it to both of them and be like, hey, team up. And they ended up teaming up anyway. And
Hello.
hey, championships.
Yeah, so they won tier two, which is, not exactly what I meant, but I technically didn't say. So we're going with it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, and we're gonna say that's a win for me.
Yeah. And then
And
Vincent Frisch.
yeah, Vincent Frisch. And Trey picked him, I think, for singles, if I remember right. But I picked him for
So
doubles.
you helped him get blind draw championship and doubles championship. And then Trey jinxed him for singles, is what it was.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly how that went down. Thank you for clarifying for everybody.
Mhm.
I think that's important. Just so everybody knows. Definitely worth bragging about. Good call, Wally. I like it.
I like
Me?
it too.
What am I bragging about? Nothing. I've been sick forever. Okay, so I'm bragging about the fact that
You're
I
not sick
am
anymore.
not in bed. I'm still fighting it, but I'm not in bed. I am up. I am eating again. I
What's the
am
temperature like out there?
like in the 50s.
See, I'm at that 35 to 40 stage right now. So there is nothing better than my comforter in my bed. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
live in there right now.
Yeah, I was so bored. I was going absolutely stir crazy. I finished all of season 1 and 2 of Firefly Lane. I finished all the episodes of Too Hot to Handle they have on there, which they haven't released the new ones yet. Let's see. I rewatched the last 2 seasons of Gilmore Girls. I'm trying to think. What else did I squeeze in there? I was like, oh, I watched like 5 Christmas movies on Netflix, of course.
I still got to get you watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, not my jam.
It's got to
It's
be.
not my
It's
jam.
amazing. Yeah, I finished watching Game of Thrones, and I think I'm gonna start Yellowstone.
Um, yeah, everybody talks about that show. I don't know if that's my jam either.
Same, but I
Um,
got to find out though.
I
I
know
mean, I watched
every
all the Twilights, and like I could care less about Twilights and glittery
I've not
vampires.
even watched all the Twilights. I don't know if I'd be bragging about that.
I'm definitely not bragging about it, but I'm just saying I watch everything just so I have an idea. I need
Yeah,
to
that's a
know.
fair point. All right, that's good enough.
Yeah, I need
Well,
to know exactly what everyone's talking about. Otherwise, I don't get the references and I feel left out.
yeah,
FOMO,
and that's why I've tried Game of Thrones and Walking Dead when that was all the jam and these different things, and I'm just not. for me. But anyways, that's all we got for our bragging segment. But we have 2 other awesome segments for you today. We are going to be going into some awesome clips, like Wally said, from Open number 1, and then we're going to have a great interview. So stay tuned for that. See you in the next part. All right, welcome everyone. We are super excited to bring our interview in. We have Devon Harbaugh with us today. Last season, he finished 9th in singles, 6th in doubles with Derek King. He's been a beast this season. I don't know if you saw Devon, but a certain analyst picked you number 1.
I did see that.
All right.
For that one.
Yeah. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Welcome in. Well, my picks aren't out yet, Devon. Just so you know.
Well, where's Devon on your list, Wally?
Yeah, he's not number 1.
It's okay.
I think he's top 5 though, for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's at 3.
Oh, that's not too shabby.
No.
All right, Devon, we wanted to bring you on just because you have had obviously such a strong already start to the season. You've got some exciting news. You've got a baby on the way. You had an awesome finish last season, so we just thought you'd be a great first guest for our show. I guess my first question is going into our first event coming up, which is Myrtle Beach. Kind of what are you doing to prepare for that? We've got the Open, we've got the draft, we've got the shootout. So what are you doing to get ready for that?
I mean, I'm still continuing to practice every day. Just 2 or 3 hours a day. We throw, me and Travis Graven, we throw together just about every day. If we don't, I try to throw by myself just to stay loose and keep ready. I play in tournaments on the weekends, and our area down here is pretty tough. So, I get good competition on a daily basis. That helps a lot.
Are you in Virginia now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it.
And one thing I was looking at when I was ranking these players is a lot of the statistics in certain areas are higher PPR, lower DPR. And then there's some areas where it's just like a high PPR, and then the DPR is just 2 point something. It's like, holy cow, how's that going? But for whenever you're practicing, do you practice some of these crazy shots you're hitting, the nasty rolls or anything like that? Or do you just kind of throw at the board? Yeah. Or you just kind of throw at the board and see what happens, then you make things up as you go?
I mean, I just try to keep working on consistency, just sliding it down the middle. And, if my bags just so happens to stop, then I'll start working on, the cool stuff. But,
So you're basically going for repetition. And then when something bad happens, you're kind of like, ooh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
That's when you get excited.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the coin slot?
Well, the coin slot was Tony. He has a couple coin of his own, but Devon had the star.
What was the shot that you had, Devon, that you did? It was like something, and you did it accidentally, but it wasn't the coin slot. You're right. That was Tony. What was your shot?
I hit a N1 drag for 5 to win the game.
That's right. That's what it was. I was mixing you up with Tony.
I wasn't necessarily trying to knock his off. I was trying to drag my front one for 4 to put us on 20 because I felt confident in Vince on the other end. And it just so happened to work out in my favor.
My favorite part of that shot, because I was there commentating that one, my favorite part of that shot wasn't you hitting the shot. It was Vincent's reaction on the other end. You guys couldn't see it on camera, but in person, Vincent just
didn't
move, just jaw dropped. I was like, wait, that's game? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know it was 5 off the bat?
I did not. I didn't know it was 5 until Vince went to fist bump McGuire saying good game. That's when I realized that we won. I was like, oh, snap, okay.
And what went into the decision process of picking Vincent? He's obviously one of the guys up here where I play, and he's, the California, the West isn't as developed for most people. They don't really know the players here. So how did that happen?
I mean, he was just one of the first ones that asked me.
Smart.
So I had said yes. And then the very next day was when Hunter had asked me to play. I said, well, I'm already teamed up with Vince. I'm sorry.
So you got to get in early, folks. You hear? Yeah. Messages are about to be blowing up, Devon. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing in April?
6 months from now.
You're throwing with DK this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So the decision, you guys both have different bag sponsors. the decision for which bags you guys are going to throw, does that come down to that day, what you guys are feeling, or do you guys already have a game plan going into it about what you're going to throw? Because
Um,
Vincent usually throws BGs, right?
yeah,
And he decided to throw your boardwalkers, and he started loving them the further and further that tournament got.
yeah. I mean, honestly, we're gonna take it tournament by tournament, and whatever's working that day, that's what we're gonna throw. We've already agreed on that. So I mean, it just,
I like that. Do you have like an arsenal of bags similar speeds, or do you just kind of
I mean,
wide
we kind
ranges?
of have with Dragon Bags and Coastal, we have the Boardwalker, and then they have their carpet bag, which is kind of the same slow side material. So it works
Okay,
out
nice.
for interchanging back and forth.
And that was kind of a controversial decision to partner up with Derek King again this season. What went into your decision-making process to do that again this season?
I mean, we finished sixth last year.
I know.
So, and
But did you see when Anthony broke down the stats of how you guys finished in those doubles matches and and no shade to Derek King, he's an incredible player, but how much it was in your favor of a lot of that?
yeah, and DK will even tell you last year wasn't his best year, but I have faith in him. I've got confidence in him on the other end. Uh, I know he's better than what he's shown everybody, and I've got faith he's going to show everybody that this season.
I kind of feel like DK got a bad rap last year, and even the year before that, because he was at the top of the food chain
Oh
two,
yeah,
2 or 3 years ago. Then he teamed up with Birchfield, and that was kind of whenever the DK Yips came into play.
yeah,
He had a lot of stuff he had to get over with, kind of rectified his throw a little bit. And then last year, everyone was just kind of watching him and you throw it, and like, DK's back, DK's back. And I'm like, give a guy a break, man. He's been elite for a long time, had a couple situations that most people would not normally recover from. But I think for the most part, he's always been a top tier player. So
oh sure.
I think if you guys get on the same page, which I have no doubt you guys will, it's going to be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
So going into the sponsorship season, a lot of teams are sponsoring together. Obviously, Claudel decided to sign you early. I think he signed you before Worlds, right?
It was right after Worlds.
Right after Worlds. Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about taking on a brand new company, kind of, and being the face for that entire company. And so far, so good. I must say, you're making the bags look really, really well, and Claudel's doing a good job on the designs.
I mean, Claudel's a really great guy. I love what he stood for when he came to me about the brand and everything. I love what he presented to me. And I knew that he was the person that was going to be able to take care of me at the end of the day. Like, more than just go throw my bags and represent the brand. He's like treated me like family since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be more fortunate for him. And I love the bags. That goes a long way too.
Yeah, I think he's done a phenomenal job with Virginia Beach the last couple of seasons. I mean, for some reason, Virginia Beach, right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas, it almost seems like it kicks off the holiday season for me. So I look forward to that Open. I hope they continue to do something every single year.
Yeah, it's been one of the biggest every year, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And what, 848, man, that was awesome to see.
Yeah,
was. Now, getting ready for Myrtle Beach, we talked about some of the ways you're practicing and getting ready to play, but what are you doing to prepare for the draft?
I mean, me, Connie, and Matt are kind of like all on the same page. Realistically, we don't really know who we can get the first round because there's 12 picks before us. So, like, we don't know who's going to be available, who's not. Joe's doing a good job at getting things together, like, on paper, so that way we don't have to stress about it when we get there. So he's been a huge help along the way too.
When you get there, do you guys have a voice? Like, who's going to be the voice? Who's going to make the decisions and stuff like that? Or you guys all working equal parts to make
we're
these picks?
we're all gonna work together to make the picks, but I think I'm gonna be the one that has to go up and like tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You got volunteered.
So, yeah. I mean, I'll gladly pass it off.
Yeah. And then some other strategies that some teams took last year, once they started making picks, their decision group got bigger and bigger. So once they had 4 or 5 people, now there were 4 or 5 people in on the decision process. Is that something you think you might do, or you think you're going to kind of hold it down to the 3 of you guys and take all responsibility on your shoulders?
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a team game. I want everybody to get along with everybody on the team and mesh well, because that's going to make it a lot further than just picking a team full of a bunch of randoms trying to team them together.
I mean,
In
that's
my
essentially
opinion.
what happens in other sports, right? It's a bunch of random people coming together. I have a couple more questions about the teams event, but we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and continue with that.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. So we were talking about the teams event, and I'm curious to know, last season, do you feel like the strategies that was used, the team that you were on, were good and you want to keep those? Is there anything you would change going forward? Like, a lot of people went regional, like some people went looking for double partners. So what's kind of your mindset going in from last season?
I think I'm going to change it up and not to, I'm going to go for more of the doubles teams as opposed to just putting people together and hoping they work.
Yeah.
So last season actually taught me a lot about the teams, and this season it's got much more of a meaning to it. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
And out of the three of you that you have already, do you already know who you're playing with out of those three? Or are you looking for your partner?
It depends. It honestly depends, because I can play with who's on the team, or I could get my partner. I wouldn't mind getting Matthew his partner, because they play really, really good together.
Yeah.
So that would be a solid team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's so many good players. So, you could get a steal late in the draft. Maybe somebody doesn't know someone, or
Yeah, so
late.
Getting a little deeper, I know I'm probably not going to get the answer here. Have you been offered a trade for your spot?
I have.
Was it garbage, or was it anything decent?
I mean, it was all right.
It's garbage.
It's garbage.
It could have been better. It could have been better.
See, I think that's the interesting part of this, because we don't really know how teams are going to play out going forward. The only type of trades that you guys are familiar with right now is what you have in front of you at this next draft.
Right.
So you don't know who's going to be available. You don't really know if you're trading up to get the same person that you might already be getting in your spot anyway. So that's a risk versus reward situation there. But I'm very curious to see who's going to be the first person, who's going to be the first team to break history and get the first trade underway. Or even you could add and drop, right? You could just kick somebody off your team straight up.
To free agency.
It's cutthroat.
Dude, can you imagine being like, I'm on Devon's team. I was the 5th pick. I'm so excited. And then it's just not going to work out. Right?
Yeah, see, I think I'm going to let Joe be the one to break that to the player.
There you go.
Well, and we're still kind of in that, in our sport. I feel like we're still at this stage where we're kind of like really cordial with one another, like as opposed to other sports where you see a lot more volatility. Like we're still kind of tiptoeing around. I say we as if I'm one of the pros, but you guys are like kind of tiptoeing around each other a little bit. Like when Jordan Power said what he said in the match against Mark Richards, like that was controversial for people. Like, and all he said was even the number 1 player in the world misses, right? It's not even that bad compared to other sports, but what's your feeling on that, like the gentleman's game and how that's going to continue?
I mean, if you're going to do it. It's not a big deal to me. Like,
I give it 2 years.
If you can't take it, then just don't play. Like, you know what I mean?
We'll have our first blow up within the next 2 years. I'm calling it right now. There's going to be somebody on one end of the board.
Shirt off.
You. And then next thing, all right, guys, I got to go commercial break. Be right back. And I'll still record it and put it in a highlight reel later on. Actually, we'll break it out here on Baggin and Braggin. That way people have to watch. This will be the controversial show.
It does seem inevitable.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's coming. I think it's coming because the more and more social media starts playing a part in it, it's going to be a he said, she said world, and it might trickle over to the boards a little bit.
Well, and teams, right? Because if it's just you, like it's singles match, like you're saying, one person, I'm going to take on this one person. If you have a team behind you, you're like, let's yell at this person. It's just a lot more comforting.
Right. Yeah, I think teams started off really rough at the first few nationals. We were kind of all trying to feel out how it's going to play out. And then at the end of the year, I think the ACL did it perfectly. I think they did it perfectly at Worlds. And then even that broadcast, how they had each match worth a certain amount. I think they're fine tuning in the right places. So, but definitely. What is your strategy going into this season? What do you want to finish? And most importantly, Who do you not want to let down more, Derek King or the old lady?
That's a tough one. I mean, my goal is to just try to finish in the top 10. I want to win something meaningful other than just like a doubles tournament. I'm chasing after that. So,
He wants a title,
yeah.
big title.
And I'm really working hard for it, so I'm hoping it starts paying off. And
You said top 10, Devin. You're not going for. I mean, I would think if looking at your playing, I would say top 5. Like that would be a reasonable goal.
Well, I think top 5 is pretty much everyone's going for top 1, obviously, the top spot. And it's just a matter of 1 or 2 breaks that's going to stop you from getting from 5 to 1.
right. And then the letting down, I mean, that's tough because like I don't want to let either of them down, I should
Yeah,
say.
it's like you only got room for 1 on that raft when the Titanic sank. You got to kick 1 off. Because whenever she watches you, man, she's intense. She makes me nervous.
She gets into it. So she's been a big help in why I'm where I'm at now. So like I'm very fortunate to have her by my side watching as much as I do.
I'll let you off the hook. I feel like you almost play more for other people than yourself when it looks like it. Like I can see how much you care about DK on the other end, and obviously, you're playing for 3 now. You gotta step it up a notch.
You're playing for 3. Yeah. I mean, in every sense of the word, like in terms of bringing money home for another human, but also you gotta do well for that baby. So are you excited about being a dad?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, and you guys settled on a name, right?
Oakley Marie.
Oakley Marie. All right.
Cute.
You guys had the ultrasounds and all that, and now
yes, sir. Everything's good to go.
Is it building a room, or are you already past that stage?
Kind of already past that.
Okay. I can see it now. We got have a diaper party for Devin, and then you got too many diapers, and we're gonna have to take away the cornhole practice area because we got to fill it up with all baby stuff.
Babies don't need that much stuff. Like
it's gonna take a lot to fill my practice area because I actually practiced at the field house where the Virginia Beach Open was at.
Oh my goodness! Man. Okay, you're good. You're just fine.
Yeah.
And but yeah, babies don't take up that much space. Like shouldn't they? They don't. I mean, I hate to say this, but like they don't do much. So
right, the first few months, you should be close.
It's really gotten more about the parents opening up Christmas gifts or baby shower gifts or stuff like that. The baby literally just, they lay in bed, they shit themselves, and they drink baby formula. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, the diaper genie is a must because it does actually mask the smell, which is nice. But other than that, I mean, you can get by. But that's a game changer right there. And the right stroller and the right car seat, especially for going from one place to the next. Like if you don't have to wake the baby, you could move just straight from the car seat to the stroller and keep going on. That's very important.
Well, congrats, Devin.
Thank you.
And good luck this season, man. I expect big things for you. Like I said, I got you in top 3. I'm pretty sure I got Mark Richards at number 1 just because he's trying new things. And then early season, obviously, Alex Rawls has a little bit of a bias because he's in everything right now. But
they've won more than me. I got something to prove.
Well, there you go. You got to play with a chip on your shoulder. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to it, brother. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck this season, Devin. And we'll see you in Myrtle Beach real soon here. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, brother. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, it is time for the Who Be Baggin' segment of this show. And this is going to be when we talk about sports betting when that comes up. But right now, we don't have anything to talk about on that subject. So Wally went back to open number 1 and pulled the top 5 clips from that match. And I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
It was quite the chore. I'm not going to lie. I had a fun time watching it, but I don't know how you people watch cornhole for 15 hours. Or however long
you watch cornhole for 15 hours. You're there.
I mean, I guess it's different whenever it's like expanded over days and, there's a little bit of break in between. You can do whatever. But I watched the entire Open nonstop from women's,
Okay,
seniors,
but none of us
blind
do
draw.
that, Wally.
I know it was so hard. I fell
None of
asleep
us
3
watch
times.
15 straight hours of
Yeah,
cornhole.
but no, I appreciate everybody tuning in. But this is the Open number 1 in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Kind of rewind for you guys. We got a chance to go back through and pull some clips, and I think these are pretty much the top 5 that I want to talk about, Meesh. So,
All right, let's go in. We're going to start with number 5. Here we go. We got.
So you pretty much have to go with the number 1 player in the world on the highlight clip, Caden Allen at this time. Coming off a hot finish in West Virginia last season, going against Alex Rawls, that was a top 3 finisher for points, but then boom,
Woo,
Caden just lands right on top of the pile, pushes it. And I think the best part of that clip for
how does
me
that
is
bag not fall?
Alex's reaction at the end.
Let's see.
Whenever Caden hits it, like Alex leading up to
Oh,
this
yeah, I didn't
shot.
go back far enough. Okay,
So
here it is right here.
Yeah,
They're
so
falling.
Alex leading up to this block, he was happy. And then Caden
like,
hits an Alex. Come on, man.
You got to
give
be
me a
kidding me,
break.
because the fact that Alex's bag did not fall is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Alex was playing defense with that final shot. There's really nothing he could do as far as offensive production. So
Yeah.
at this point, you just cross your fingers. Like, worst case scenario, he goes in, he takes all 3 bags, he gets 2 points, and it just sits there. 4 points.
Yeah, or that. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go into number 4. What do we got?
Yeah, so number 4, this round
has-
was setting up pretty. I mean, you can see there's 20-20. So go ahead and pause real quick. We'll talk about this match.
Okay.
It was back and forth battle with Jamie Graham and Chad Hunt going against Trey Birchfield and Alex Rawls. And it's only 13 rounds in, so they were throwing haymakers at each other. And both teams had chances to win it. Jamie Graham had a bag just stuck right on the red zone with a chance to win, wide open hole, chance to go in. He didn't do it. Just missed shot. Trey Birchfield was visibly frustrated the entire game. And Alex hits these shots. He says, I'll carry you. I got no problem carrying you. Let's just go. And he wanted to get his mind right. So then Chad Hunt, he's just kind of quiet over there. And I keep getting all these notifications in the chat all the time. You guys got to show Chad Hunt some love. You guys got to know about Chad Hunt. Chad Hunt's really, I was like, I know about Chad Hunt, but he hasn't really done anything on the broadcast to kind of be like, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
Chad Hunt.
Let's talk about it.
Until right here.
All right. And yeah, this was redemption, I guess, from all of that. So we got Chad's bag in the front of the hole with Alex right behind. Alex goes up. He's not mad about it. He didn't get
He says that's the best miss possible.
The best miss possible. It's okay. His bag's still sitting right in front of the hole, as is Chad's. Chad has to hit backside airmail just to stay in it.
Just to stay alive. So he does hit it backside.
Does it.
Boom. Crowd goes crazy at that moment. Chad Hunt and Jamie Graham end up going on to win the entire tournament. So without that shot right there is no championship for Jamie and Chad Hunt.
And definitely Chad Hunt was on the radar now. At least like I was like you. I wasn't someone that was at the top of my thoughts. And after this Open, it was like, well, who the heck is Chad Hunt? Whoa, wait a second.
You start clicking on the profile pictures and scrolling back to see how many times they're holding up that number 1 in their pictures.
Exactly. Like, okay, this is someone. All right. Let's go to number 3.
Chad definitely earned it.
We got Jamie Graham, Alex Rawls 20-0.
I said I do want to apologize real quick to Alex Rawls because these first 3 clips looks like I'm bashing on Alex Rawls, but
what is going on?
This is what happens when you put yourself in almost every single championship match. All right,
you're gonna be on some highlight.
You're gonna be on highlight reels, going to get some great shots. And Alex Rawls hits plenty of great shots on his own. I left him in for that last airmail, hitting backside, kind of knocking his bag and staying on. But this one here, I mean, Jamie Graham just had a mission. Obviously, like we talked about, taking down the doubles championship. Alex Rawls finds himself in his second championship of the weekend, going against Jamie Graham here. And Jamie with a chance to close it out very, very quickly.
All right, here we go. So you have to also think about, here we go. You have to think about Alex's state of mind right now, down 20-0.
Well, look at him. He's already walking away from the match. Throws back on the ground. Yeah, he's like, this is going great. This is going great. He's thinking in his head right now, I hope this never goes on to a highlight reel at any point.
Yeah, I hope no one watches this ever again and we can just forget it happened. And here Wally plucks it out of 15 hours of footage.
Millions of viewers.
But here we go. All right, so Jamie's got a bag kind of over the hole on the left. Alex has 2 bags right in front. Jamie's bag right now. Alex looking defeated to the side. Jamie goes and boom, hits. He actually does hit Alex's bag. And once again, it does not go in, just like with the Caden Allen one.
Yeah, then the final shot there from Alex after that just stopped a little bit short. He hit his bag on the left. Bag in hand doesn't go in the hole. Jamie collects a couple more points right there, takes it down. I can't say at the bottom. Does that say 5 rounds, 4 rounds or something?
4.
Yeah, so
That's a 4.
Alex has redeemed himself since then at the last
Yes.
Open. He said, I didn't get shut out this time. And then he actually ends up taking down the entire tournament. So good on Alex Rawls for
Definitely.
rebounding and not letting it defeat him too much. But Alex Rawls and Jamie Graham, top players. Let's talk about Jamie for a little bit. I'm kind of concerned about the arm injury, you know?
Dude, I did not know. Like when he said, I threw the football too much, and so I was
Mhm.
sore the next day. I'm thinking, okay, I've thrown the football too much and had that soreness in my shoulder before. It's never lasted more than a couple days. And let me just point out, Jamie's much younger than I am. So
Yeah.
so like I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna have that like muscle soreness in the shoulder, like you worked out too much. It doesn't when you work out at the gym and you're sore, it's 48 hours tops. So then when we were talking about this, and I think it was Anthony that brought up or Bernie his injury, and I'm like, wait, no, it's an actual injury. Like this is
Mhm.
like he actually hurt his shoulder. It's not just sore.
Yeah, I think he's talking, might have to have surgery or something. I don't know. I can't remember the
Shut up.
conversation we had at Virginia Beach, but he did really well with Matt Guy in doubles, and I was kind of surprised to see how deep they went. And then singles, I'm not sure if he went 0-2 or 1-2 or what, but I mean, if it's definitely playing a factor like that, better to get it taken care of now than too deep into the season. I mean,
Yeah,
you could still win a world championship coming out as the 150th seed. You know,
yeah,
like
no, you can, but I mean, this is going to make room. I mean, we talk about how difficult it is to make that top 10, but if we're
mhm.
taking Jamie Graham out of the top 10, like that leaves room for someone that definitely changes things up.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I left him in my top 10 just because I do think he is probably the most talented player,
Yeah.
excuse me, in the world. But I mentioned earlier that I put Mark Richards at number 1 just because Mark is learning the new bags and he's
Yeah.
trying new shots that he didn't have last year. So if you give Mark Richards
More
what do we got,
shots.
7, 8 months to practice, new shots and stuff like that, I think he's just gonna be elite. And then Alex is just continuing to do what he
Yeah.
does. Alex is
Yeah.
probably the most consistent player, 100%.
Yeah. Well, not according to this clip, but yes.
Well, I
Not that this
promise, no
not
more
this
Alex
shining
Rawls
example.
clips the rest of the way.
Number 2. Let's go to number 2. Who do we got here? All right, we got the cutest little player I've ever seen in the world.
Hey, did you see what I titled this clip?
Uh-uh.
I said it's titled "Great, another good 12-year-old."
Oh my god. Is he 12?
I think he's 12 from
Oh
what
my
they were saying in the
god, he's so
broadcast.
itty bitty. They're
But
so cute.
same situation here going into this match. I was like, all right, I don't know who Aiden Claxton is, but this is for a blind draw, I believe bracket.
Okay.
And Aiden Claxton has great composure. I kind of left this clip a little bit long because you'll see his composure. You'll see his form is pretty consistent
He
on every release.
he takes his time.
Mm-hmm. And
Kids usually are like speed racers when they play.
right, yeah, but I do like the release I've seen out of him. A lot of these clips that I went through this for the first Open, I noticed a lot of young players have the same composure problems. When everything's
Mm.
going great, they're on cloud 9, but the first little
Minute.
fraction of something that
Mhm.
goes wrong, they start getting a little frustrated and things start to unravel. So I like to see the young talent. I don't like to see it at a potential skill level that's better than mine. But I guess I'm just kind of at that point now where I have
Yeah,
to
that's gonna keep happening,
swallow it.
Wally.
Yeah.
So sorry. But the composure he has is impressive. And also, can we talk about Trey Birchfield winning with kids? Like what is
Yeah.
he's like got a track record for this now.
He's like the kid whisperer, you know?
He's the kid whisperer. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
so
let's
he's
watch
got what,
Aiden.
both Gores and now Aiden.
Yep.
And Alex Hicks too.
So Aiden goes up for the airmail, hits it, no problem.
Yeah, first shot, just smooth going back to the board to even grab the bag too. And then there you go. There's the blood in the water shot. Normal player or me. I'm going board here. I already got my 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't need to try anything crazy. I already got my 3 points. He's like, nah. Boom.
Fearless.
Almost hits that one again. Staying
Yeah.
on slick side. So I'm pretty sure he he's like, well, the game's over, but I want to go and grab it. And then again, he's up big on this round. The
Yep.
other guy's
He
only
does not
showing
have
2.
to go for this airmail,
Yeah,
and
it's
yet
7 on 2, and he does it again. So
and he almost dragged it. He's just a little bit to the left of the bag.
yeah, the gusto. The gusto, I love it.
Gotta love it. All right. Ready for
Please.
the number 1? Do we have a drum? You have side effects? We got a drum
Oh
roll?
man, I don't even know if I could hear it. Let's see.
Okay, this could be an epic fail.
Yeah, well, this might be on the blooper reel. Let's see here. You put me on the spot. Is this it?
You had all these sound effects you were playing. Oh,
That's all I
that'll
got.
work. All right, here we go.
Did it
Number
work?
1. that one didn't make any sense.
That's the only
at all.
drum I got.
That's like when you tell a bad joke. It's not what we're looking for the number 1 clip.
That's what I do. Tell a lot of bad jokes.
All right. Here we go.
Alec Ryan and David Ryan. Let's go ahead and pause real quick and talk about the unfortunate side of this clip. Alec Ryan and David Ryan, father son, teaming up this year. Alec Ryan obviously making a strong case for that number 1 pick going into teams. A lot of people,
Absolutely.
I think it was Anthony, put him number 1
Mhm.
with Jimmy Human's team taking him. And his dad on the other side, David, doesn't normally throw these cannons, but he throws slick slide only on these cannons, and he's doing very, very well. I think he likes throwing faster bags. But I'm looking forward to this team just because I think how cool it would be if, my dad were still around, if me and my dad could do something like this.
Yeah.
I'll never forget whenever my dad showed up, first tournament, and like it was the first time he ever saw me play. He's like, my son's pretty good. I finished 3rd in that tournament. So we had a nice run. I was throwing with Louis Stumpy. He's one of the local legends and nice guy. Went up to my parents, talked to him all the time and stuff like that. And my dad was first time he saw cornhole, first time he saw how good I was. And he just kind of looked around the room and he didn't say it. But that was my dad was proud moment. You know what I
He was
mean?
impressed. He was
Yeah.
impressed.
So Alec and David here are playing for their bracket against was it Jeremiah and Garrett?
Garrett.
It's kind of hard to see with the pause, I think. But yeah, Jeremiah and Garrett. And I'm like, I have no idea who these guys are. Never heard of Jeremiah. And I think I've seen Garrett walking around the building before. Obviously, both good throwers, top 100 jerseys on. But I'm looking forward to Alec and David going with Ryan, not Ryan this year. They corrected me on it. So Alec Ryan and David Ryan, seeing what they can do as father-son team. But Jeremiah and Garrett are now on my radar after
From
this
this.
performance.
Yeah.
You got it muted there, but they just said the PPR is going into this round, and it's round 18. And I believe
Yes.
Garrett was throwing like an 11.38.
Yeah, it was in the 11s. I remember that.
Yeah, going into this round. And then the shot that Garrett's going to hit that you're going to see here, this is the second time he hit it this match. The previous round, he hit the same exact shot. And during this commentating, Jake even says, if he hits this shot one more time or something like that. And then you'll see here he does. It's for me, this bag is out of play. But for Jeremiah, it's a championship for the bracket to go to the finals.
I mean, isn't it crazy to even think like once you see the bag that he goes after, like the fact that your mind says, A, I think I can get that. And then B, have the confidence to be like, oh no, I can get that. Like just the thought to get it is one thing, but
yeah, the good replace right there from David forces Jeremiah. I say Garrett all the time. My bad. Jeremiah's bag out to the side, but then it bites himself right there.
Yep.
And there's only maybe a 5% chance of grabbing this bag, and again hits it.
It's not even hanging over the hole, really. It's got like the teeniest, tiniest sliver of a bag. It's not a corner; it's the side of the bag. It's just barely over the hole, and like spins it in.
Yeah, and I like this pause moment too, right there, because you see David's face. It reminds me of that little soundbite. It was at this moment he realized he had messed up. Game is over. Game is over. But Jeremiah and Garrett showed me something. They are on the radar. They're going to be in some highlight clips. Looking forward to seeing how this season shapes up, and not just with the pros. I want to see the no names. Who are you guys? You're out there. You're throwing bags on a regular basis. You're paying all this money to go to these opens, these nationals. I want to see you guys here on the Who Be Baggin' segment.
Absolutely. Your local areas know you, but we want to expose you to the rest of the world. So we're looking forward to see what you can do at these events. And, you keep bagging out there and we'll maybe get you on here. I'm excited about
there's
it.
There's going to be some segments going forward in the future where we'll have you guys send in clips, and I'll edit those down as well, and you have a chance to get on as well. If not here, then maybe on YouTube or something. But this is pretty much the show, guys. We did it, Meesh. We
Did it.
kind of got through it, I guess.
It's a little clunky for our first one, but we'll smooth it out. All right, give us another week or so. We'll get it down. But
yeah, we got interviews, we got sound effects, got those, and it's just gonna get better, guys. Trust us. You guys know we put in a lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, we put in a lot of work. We're looking forward to it, and thank you guys for all the support. Everybody sharing and liking the post whenever Trey announced that we're doing this. That's when it got real for me.
Yeah. I know. I didn't know that post was coming.
I didn't either.
So I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this thing.
Why is everybody tagging me on Facebook right now?
What's right? All right, Wally. Well, that is it for this week. And then we will see you guys all next time.
There you go.